So first of all, where is this in the canon of the Tron universe? Maybe as a director, you can answer that question.
Yeah, it's the third one.
Yes.
So it happens after the second one.
Yeah.
Is what
But
you're saying.
not necessarily the storyline.
Right.
But I don't think I can say that much about that. But what I can say is that it's such an honor to be a part of the franchise. And, you know, having been a big fan of the first movie, I think the second, you know, Tron Legacy is in many ways a masterpiece. And so the bar is set very high, you know, and just feel so grateful to be able to work with such an amazing cast and a bunch of filmmakers to make Tron Ares come alive.
Yeah, I know a little bit about Jared's character, obviously title character, but I don't know anything about either of your characters. So if you could enlighten me a little bit, as much as you can say.
I played Julian Dillinger, who is a Dillinger.
That's a scoop. That's a scoop.
Scoop, yeah.
You
Yeah.
heard it first.
Is that an actual scoop? No.
Is it?
It might be.
I haven't heard. I haven't heard.
It's a scoop.
Yeah.
It's a scoop. Yeah. That's it. That's really all I can
And so
say.
you can't tell me, I mean, obviously, and go ahead.
Well, he's a Dillinger, so that means
I'm a
something
Dillinger. Yeah, if
to
you,
people.
if you know the Tron world, you know that's
I feel like you've given
Not-
a lot.
not
yeah.
great things happen to those on the grid with the Dillinger.
This is amazing.
Agreed.
I play a human, a user. Yeah, a user. Thank you. Her name is Eve Kim, and she's a programmer. She's a brilliant programmer.
Okay, I got a little bit there. This is good. I like this. And
feel good about.
yeah, where does Ares fit into either of your worlds?
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I think that I can say that the work that my character Eve Kim does sort of paves the way for him to enter into our world.
So yeah, you've sort of flipped the script a little bit in this one. In the first two Trons, you have the human world and you have the AI world, and one infiltrates the other. And this time around, you flipped it. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can't. But I think the bottom line for me and what the movie is about is, you know, what it means and what it takes to be human in a way. Mm-hmm. And that's the journey that we are all.
Yeah. I mean,
I like that.
Really
That was very well put.
that was actually quite beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, as a director, creating that universe? I mean, it's such a visually stunning universe that we've, know and love from the first two. How different will it be? And obviously, the last one we saw in 2010, this is now 2024. It's a movie about technology. So how has the technology in 2024 allowed you to sort of paint a new picture?
We're definitely pushing the boundaries on the technological level. And it's, again, as you say, that is part of this franchise. They did it in the first film with computer graphics. It was one of the first movies that ever had that, if not the first movie. And it was almost, back then they looked upon that almost like cheating, It was so new. And I think also with the Legacy, the previous film, they did, face replacements and all that. That was very, very new at the time. And we also have that, we're pushing the envelope. We're trying to mirror, the universe that we are in while making the film. And that's also part of the fun.
Yeah. Can you either of you talk about Jeff Bridges, working with him, sort of the legacy of him in this role?
My God, I mean,
just that he's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He completely lives up to everything that you would hope for. It's just great to have him be a part of this in any capacity.
Yeah, I mean, a dream come true, really, to be
Yeah.
in a movie that he's in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's such a big part of
He is, he is Tron. I mean, he's the whole world. So yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
What was the first encounter that you had on set with him? It doesn't have to be within the story, but sort of meeting him or sort of...
I think just meeting him in passing, like in front of the trailers, was a very seminal moment for me, meeting Jeff Bridges. in that way.
I did a little interview with Jeff before this, which was really weird. You know, that I met him and he's amazing. He's the coolest guy you've ever met.
Yeah.
And nice and really cares and cares about acting and
it's a genuine he's very much like the character you see on screen a little bit also. Like he's this genuine and obviously been acting since he was a kid, and it's just such a pleasure to tap into that experience also, you know.
Yeah.
I think also like symbolically, like he as a person, like his warmth and the humanity that he has is relevant to the movie too. I mean, we are talking about AI and technology, but there's like so much heart in this movie, and he's appropriately our mascot in that way.
For you as a director as well, you said you were a fan of the Tron universe. So did you nerd out a little bit the first day that you
Bridges?
Yeah.
Oh, we all did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, and again, I've just felt so lucky that we were able to, you know, that we were able to get him, to bring him back. And he loves this franchise too. He loves this universe, and you could see that the moment he stepped on the set. And we built a lot of the sets that they didn't do in the previous films. So he was able to be, you know, in that world, and you kind of saw his, you know, his eyes light up from that in itself. So, no, that was just such an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah. And Jared, how is Jared as a collaborator?
Amazing. I mean, yeah, he's a perfectionist and really cares about all movies, and especially this one.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to see that.
Also completely lived up to, you know, your hopes of what he'd be like. And I know I'd been such a big fan of his work for so many years. So that was, you know, really surreal and amazing to get to work with him on it.
Yeah, a great collaborator, I must say.
Yeah, when I think of him, I think of somebody who disappears into roles. Like he really loves to. So does he go there with this? He is, right?
Yeah.
When you hear of him playing like this character that goes in the real world that's AI, it makes perfect sense. Like you can see it without even knowing the character.
Yeah, and actors have different ways of creating their characters, and that's his way. And you know, there's other ways. So you have to, as I respect anyway. And then I think he has shown again and again how good he is, like, to do that. So I'll call him Ares all day long if I have to, you know.
He probably prefers that when he's in character.
But then it's
too.
fun when you meet him, like, you know, after the day, and then he's Jared again, you know, and then he's very, you know, playful, and you know, suddenly all of that comes back. He's just in character, and it's fascinating.
So Tron is known for music. So 9 Inch Nails, this is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
So exciting.
yeah. No, it's fantastic. Well, I'm already a couple of months into editing, and we're already, you know, starting the collaboration. I mean, it's just amazing, you know, to see their take on it, and to feel, you know, this next installment with their sound. It just makes it, you know, it makes it probably a little grittier, and like it's cooler, and I mean, again, we're so lucky.
Yeah, they were like a dream come true.
Yeah. I'm very excited about that.
Whose idea was it? How did it?
It's my idea.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was mine.
I love that.
It was both with our ideas. We came up with it.
You came up with it. You
Yeah.
pitched it. You gave him a call.
Yeah.
I said Trent and he said Atticus.
Yeah. Maybe they should do it together.
Yeah.
So I've been asking everybody today, so I'll ask the two of you, other than these characters, which character or film in the Disney universe would you like to dive into?
Dive into.
Yeah, either a film that you'd like to play a part in, maybe a new part, or a character that exists.
I love Star Wars. So I
yeah.
love the last The Acolyte that Leslie Headland did. I thought it was amazing. Interesting, fresh take.
Star Wars, Marvel.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Any of them.
Any and all of them?
Any of them.
Here with Jared Leto. Jared,
Yes.
great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Congratulations on this film.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're excited about it.
You should. I mean, it's such a legacy that Tron has. What was your relationship with the film and the filmography before you decided to sign on to it?
Well, I fell in love with the movie in the 80s when I was a kid. One of my favorite films. And I played the video game and was really obsessed with Tron. I love the second film. I love everything about the Tron universe. So labor of love for me, and I'm excited to be here.
So you play Ares, who is an AI character that goes into the real world.
Yeah.
So they're switching it up. It's a different way that they've done it in the past. So how is that going to add to, or so what can you explain about this world and what we're going to see in this film?
Well, I hope people are as excited as I am about seeing the grid come out into the real world, to see light cycles and disc battles and recognizers, which are the big ships out, ripping down the streets of a city near you. So that's different, and as a continuation of the story, I also think it's a pretty interesting time to tell this story, a time in the day and age of artificial intelligence, and where kind of big questions are being asked about those things. So we look at that in the film as well.
So you are somebody who I love to watch because you disappear into roles. Is this one of those roles where it was, like just so different from you, or does it feel a little bit closer to you, or how would you sort of describe this character?
I think in some ways it feels a little bit closer to me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I look like me, which is an obvious change. Not too often I do
That's true.
that.
Yeah.
But I look a lot like me, and I don't know, because I'm such a fan of the film, I think there's some common ground that we have in some ways. I found some common ground for sure. But I hope that the movie excites people and they have a good time with it like I did when I was a kid.
What was your biggest nerd out moment on set? If you're a fan of the game?
I had a lot.
Yeah.
I had a lot. I mean, every day that I put the costume on, which weighed about 45 pounds, and it was substantial, but it was great. I loved it as well, even though it was challenging. I loved the costume. Walking onto some of the sets, which were practical. They were built and not just green screen or blue screen. We actually built a lot of sets, and I would be, it would be moments before they would call out action, and I'd be over there just trying not to smile because I was so excited to be walking in that world. So it was really fun for me.
So talk about the nerd out moment that was Jeff Bridges and hanging with Jeff Bridges on set.
I had to yell cut in one of our first takes, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I just couldn't stop smiling," because I was with Jeff. Jeff Bridges, to me, he's a hero. He's a legend. He's everything that you hope he is when you meet him.
Yeah.
And even more when you work with him.
Well, as long as you've been doing this and you've played so many roles over the years, but I believe, and I do this as an interviewer, when I interview people that I knew as a kid or looked up to, so the fact that, was there a moment that you're looking across, and this is a character you obviously watched in the 80s, what was that moment like for you, just sort of sitting across actor to actor, knowing that you're acting opposite this legacy character?
Yeah, every single second I was with Jeff. It's impossible to set aside the impact that he's had on my life and the enjoyment that I've received watching his work, his voice, his mannerisms, when he talks. Yeah, man, he's just a legend. I love him.
So obviously the last one came out in 2010, and the first one, like you said, came out in the 80s, but now we're in an age of technology where things are much, much different. So visually, how do you create we're in a world of technology now, a world that looks futuristic or looks like something ahead?
Well, things are changing quickly, so it's a challenge. And this film, talks about some of those things, explores some of those themes. It's a great time to make a film like this because there's so much to discuss. There's so much to look at. But at the end of the day, I think it's a continuation of this story that I loved so much when I was a kid, and I really hope that there are kids out there that find something special about it like I did.